Bonjour, it is day 2 of French week and I hope you are having a lovely time whether you're at home or at school. Hopefully you've managed to make your crepes, maybe you had a croissant or a pain au chocolat for breakfast, and I am here with another recipe. I know you might not be able to make this today, but hopefully at some point you'll be able to, or you'll just be able to see another French dish. So today we are going to be making a croque monsieur, which literally translated means Mr. Crunchy. So just before we start cooking, I would like to set you a couple of geography related French tasks. So number 1, I would like you to find out which countries border France. Number 2, I would like you to find out which rivers there are in France. And finally, I'd like you to find out some mountain ranges. What mountain ranges are there in France and what's the highest point in France? I have made a loaf of bread to use and I'm just going to slice it up. I'll link my bread recipe down below if you would like to do the same, or you could just use sliced bread. The ingredients you're going to need are 2 slices of bread per person, some Gruyere cheese, some ham, 1 slice per person, and some mustard. We have then got, for our bechamel sauce, 20 grams of flour, 20 grams of butter, and 200 millilitres of milk. It can be any sort of milk. You can make it with oat milk, whole milk, whatever milk you'd like. So these are our ingredients. So just before we get started, you can change the cheese for cheddar cheese, any cheese that you like. This cheese is quite strong, but is the way they traditionally make it. You can also make it gluten-free by using gluten-free bread, and you can make it vegan by making a vegan white sauce, and you could add some nutritional yeast and vegan cheese, and then instead of the ham, you could cook some spinach instead, and it would be delicious. To make our bechamel sauce is exactly the same as when we were making our lasagna. So on a low heat, melt your butter, add in your 20 grams of flour, and then mix on a low heat for a couple of minutes until it's all cooked out. After you've cooked for a couple of minutes, it should be smooth and we're ready to add the milk. So add a little bit of your milk and you're going to mix it on a low heat. And when it's all combined with no lumps, you can use a whisk. You can continue to add the milk. Add the rest of the milk. And then continue to cook until it has thickened. The reason we're making this first is because we need to keep mixing it to make sure we keep it nice and smooth with no lumps. So we're just going to cook it. We don't want it to boil, so we've got to keep an eye on it until it gets thicker and we'll coat the back of our spoon. After your sauce has thickened, it coats the back of the spoon. You can season with pepper. So we now need everything prepped and ready to go. I've got my bread and butter, cheese, ham, Dijon mustard, and my sauce. I've then got a griddle pan ready. My oven is preheated to 180 degrees and I've got a baking tray ready. You could toast or grill the bread first. I'm just going to butter one side of it, so that will end up being the outside of our croque monsieur, and we're going to place it on the griddle. I've heated up my griddle pan on a medium heat and I have buttered my bread, and I'm going to take the slice of bread and put it butter side down so that it doesn't stick. You could also use oil as well. And if you're making it vegan, you can make sure you use vegetable oil. And you're just going to toast them on one side. After 3 to 5 minutes, check your bread on the other side, and as it starts to get those lines or starts to be a little bit crispy, you're ready to take it off the heat. When our bread is on the side, we are ready to put on our fillings. First is a thin layer of French mustard. You can use any French mustard, and you can also get rid of this layer if you don't like it. Next is a layer of our bechamel sauce. Add on a slice of ham, a little bit more of the sauce, and then you're going to add on your cheese. Remember, if you don't like strong cheese, just use cheddar. Place them onto a baking tray. Look at all those layers. Add a final layer of the bechamel sauce and then top with cheese. And we're ready to go in the oven for 5 minutes, or until the cheese is melted in the middle. When all of the cheese has melted, leave to rest on the baking tray for a couple of minutes. Use your tongs to hold your croque monsieur and then cut in half. You are then ready to serve. I hope you have enjoyed this recipe, and even if you don't get the chance to make it, hopefully you have enjoyed watching. Please send me a picture or let me know about anything that you make, and a bientôt!